Hello, everyone. We are back to the studio with another Coffee Bike podcast. It's been 1.5 years since our first one, and Christine is here with me today. We're going to talk about what's been happening throughout this whole 1.5 year, our results, and our plans for the future. But first, let's have a quick look at our first podcast and see what we planned before and what we actually end up with. Enjoy the next 20 to 30 minutes, and we will see you in exactly 1 week with our new Coffee Bike podcast. Thank you. Hey everyone, I understand 2 minutes might be not enough to showcase our entire story. So I have Christian here today with me who will be helping us to give more details about the Coffee Bike history, about the advantages of this specific business model, and let's see how it goes. Perhaps we will discover more and more information about Coffee Bike which might be helpful for you to make a decision about your investment. Hi Christian.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming. It's really funny that you are the first person probably who witnessed the beginning of the Coffee Bike back in 2016. So I think you will be the best person to kind of help me to walk through our audience the entire history of the Coffee Bike since the day one.
Absolutely, yeah. So I guess let's just dive right on in. How did you come up with this idea for Coffee Bike? I saw you with the Coffee Bike back in 2016, but how did you come up with the idea?
Well, frankly honest, it was one of my college peers who sent me the link to the crowdfunding campaign, which the idea of which was the mobile coffee shops. We both got very excited, but it just so happened that I was just a little more excited that I proceeded with actually. I invested some of my savings to this coffee cart, and fortunately the product that I received was absolute disaster. As a freshman from the college, I didn't really know anything about business.
When you say disaster, why was it such a disaster?
Well, as a freshman from the college, I didn't really know any knowledge. I didn't have any knowledge about permits, regulations, etc. So when I came to the local city hall and showed what I got, they just laughed at me. They will be like, "No way, we're gonna make this approved." And it took me maybe 1 year, 1.5 of constant reinspection, adding more and more equipment, resubmitting the drawings, the plans to make it finally approved.
Wow, that seems like a lot of work for something that was supposed to be ready to go off the bat.
Pretty much, yeah. The initial advertisement was like ready to go business, like open the box, go sell coffee right away, make money, huge margins on the coffee, etc. But yeah, it took quite a while, and I had so many points of giving up on the idea, maybe just moving forward to something else. But something inside me was like, no, there is something in it, and I should pursue it. At the end of the day, it worked out. I got my approval, but the final version was so bulky, like we had to fit additional water tanks, water heaters, batteries, and much more other equipment that made the entire thing only being able to move horizontally or decline. There is no way we could, make it on any steep hill.
I see. So just a question here. So all of those items that you added into the bike, what led you to add those additional things?
Another part of the equipment which I added was just for the ease of the usage, for an overall efficiency of operations of the mobile coffee shop. While yes, I received this mobile coffee cart back in 2016, it was a joke. Like I had to park my personal car next to my service location. I was taking my scooter from the car, riding it to the garage, taking my coffee cart, pushing my coffee cart to the location for like 20 to 30 minutes, and then bringing all the equipment from my car to the coffee cart back and forward until everything is fully set up. So it took me up to 2 hours sometimes to just start my operations.
Wow. So, okay, this might be a little bit of a silly question, but do you need to be any sort of fitness level to ride your current coffee bike, or is it pretty flexible based on your fitness level?
Well, circling back to this initial coffee cart, I can say that I have damaged my lower back significantly by carrying 100-pound espresso machine back and forward. And what made me redesign the concept and come up with a new model of the coffee bike, which we are talking about today, is the ability of putting everything inside the unit and not have a need to involve any additional means of transportation. So this coffee bike takes 5 minutes to open, 5 minutes to close. Everything fits inside. You have your electrical motor, you don't need to pedal, you don't have to have your strong legs or something. It's just a throttle motor, and then additional pedaling action can extend your battery range for, you know, a couple extra kilometers, but it's not required.
Yeah, because I could see someone being a little bit hesitant, like I'm not fit enough to ride this bike up a hill or would it be, but that seems like the electricity really does help you a lot.
Not a problem at all. Like it won't be able to go like 90 degree up, but it will conquer as much as like 15 to 20 degrees, and you know that's more than enough for the most of the cities in the world.
Totally. Okay, well that sounds like a lot of work that you put into this, and you're kind of just gonna provide this opportunity to people. So what motivated you to get here to do this?
So the main idea behind Coffee Bike Startup is the absence or very minimal monthly obligations or overhead costs. I'll repeat once again, as a freshman from the college, you know, I just had a limited amount of resources at that time. So looking towards something like a brick and mortar coffee shop or like any other business model that requires like hefty monthly lease or rent payments just wasn't an option. So what really motivated me about the mobile coffee shop idea is if I operate, I make money. If I don't operate, I don't lose money. So on the top of that, you know, the overall margins on the coffee drinks are like one of the highest over all the industries available for the small businesses nowadays. After making like a little calculations, I was just already a millionaire in my head.
Totally.
Thinking like, you know, if I sell n amount of coffees a day, I'm gonna make like n thousands of dollars by the end of the month. And yeah, it kind of worked out. Basically, I started to operate it from day one as a barista, as an operator. I was running it every morning, and then I still had my full-time job afterwards because, you know, it took me some time to test the idea, to introduce it to the local community, and to understand that it's actually able to generate enough income to sustain a good living standard.
So what sort of challenges did you kind of go through during that time where you're working a full-time job and also, you know, starting this amazing business and being a barista full-time?
Well, first of all, from the time of construction of the car, one of the biggest challenge was to actually fit everything, all the equipment in such a tiny concept, which after quite a few of trials and errors, buying a lot of equipment from, you know, simple sources like Amazon, Home Depot, Canada Tire, everywhere I could, without any engineering knowledge or degree, by just watching YouTube videos, I managed to fit everything inside, and it kind of started to work out. During the time, I was adjusting certain things, improving like certain parts to make it more efficient and more like barista oriented, not just like a functionally oriented. And yeah, like the final package came to the point where I was like, now it does make sense for me to scale it and to introduce it as a product for sale. Another challenge, of course, was to find good locations, which we will also be kind of helping with our mentorship to the future coffee bike owners, advising on which locations worked out for us, which locations didn't work out, what we coffee bike owners should be focused on when choosing the location, etc.
Yeah, because it feels like there's a coffee shop on every corner.
Exactly.
So you kind of have to be strategic as to where you put your coffee bike.
Exactly. There are two questions. First of all, where you're allowed to serve, and then where you want to serve, right? Basically, we are operating in the gray area in between, and with great knowledge of your city, with a great knowledge of the concept, it is very feasible to operate more than one unit. We actually have 10 units in our possession, which we operate in Vancouver.
Wow.
Some of them just go around the city, parks, some of them just focus more on the private events and caterings, which is another whole great revenue stream for the coffee bike. But in general, after 7 years of operation, we kind of took our portion of the coffee market and existing in this environment in a fairly good economical perspective.
So I have a question about weather. So how do the bikes hold up in different types of weather? I see they have these little roofs kind of for the barista to have over her head, his or her head, but how does the coffee bike operate in different types of weather?
So yeah, this is one of the most common questions we receive when someone inquires about the coffee bike purchase. Number one is, yes, coffee bike has a little roof flops which are isolated from the rain. So if it's a little bit of the drizzle, you can, for example, close the side flops and just keep the front and the back open to kind of wait over until the rain stops. Of course, if it's going to be constantly raining, you just close down and, unfortunately your day is over for today because there is no foot traffic around, unless you're in a busy area such as like a train station or like bus station. And then in the winter, which is like everyone always telling me, oh, it's Canada, what do we do in the winter? You have to think a little bit, right? For us, the biggest opportunity was indoors locations. Indoors locations allows us really to operate all year round, and there are a lot of landlords and in general buildings around who would be happy to have a coffee bike established on their property without any hassle of building permits, plumbing, electricity. We just roll it in and we are ready to serve in 5 minutes, which is perfect for the landlord because we usually share some commission or fixed rent with them, which is perfect for the tenants or like staffing of this building because they now have an established coffee shop. They don't have to walk their long distances to the close coffee shop or use a phone delivery apps with a hefty delivery fees.
For sure.
So this was a big solution for us to go over the cold season.
How do you find those indoor locations? Just by calling or word of mouth, or how do you kind of?
Everything kind of works together in a mix. As a future business owner, anyone who is opting in to own and operating a coffee bike should understand that this is a business. We are proposing you a concept, brand and support. This is what we are offering, but you still have to do quite a lot of work on your end. So what do? We do targeted ads, we do cold calls, we're meeting as much people as possible by having bikes outdoors as much as possible. Our motto is actually always on your route. It's coffee bike, always on your route. We are trying to strategically put coffee bikes around the city. So, when I meet my friend or someone, he's like telling me or she's telling me, hey, your bikes are everywhere.
Yeah.
And this is a goal. And by having our bikes everywhere, we're getting noticed by everyone. And this is when we receive like leads and inquiries to our website, which will also be like an additional benefit of being in our system because every new coffee bike owner will be added to our system. So when we receive a lead from a different city or even different country, we will be able to redirect it to this coffee bike owner.
Oh, wow. So you're really creating a community then.
This is the whole idea, right? So first we thought about launching a franchise or something like that, but quickly realized that franchise is really in most of the minds of when people think about franchise, they franchise equals obligations. Franchise equals control. And this is really not the route we would like to proceed with. We want to create a community, worldwide community of the coffee bike owners where everyone will just purchase the bike from us, will enter our ecosystem, which is group chats, websites.
And you have an app too,
and
right?
we're also launching the phone app soon, which is going to connect all the coffee bikes in one ecosystem, but there is not going to be any obligations, right? If you want to be part of us, we will be happy and we will justify the value throughout the time. If not, then you just buy the bike. You can rip off our logos if you want, which I will be a little bit heartbroken because of that, but you can. Legally, there is no obligations.
So if I wanted to make this bike, I don't know, pink, I could do that.
We provide all kind of customizations. We actually support co-branding. If you have, let's say, your little grocery store, or even your coffee shop, or like, I don't know, your educational institute, or even your personal name, if you want to call it like Coffee by Kristen, we can make it Coffee by Kristen pink. We just want our logo to be somewhere on the body of the bike to kind of
get that visibility for everybody.
Visibility and the community connection. But then it's going to give you this individualistic feel. And with all of that, our really, once again, goal is to have this worldwide community of the coffee bike owners who will be independently operating, but sharing their experience, their knowledge, some media materials, etc. on our platforms, while we continue to provide this community maybe with new models of the coffee bike, with additional features, with customer service, with bike service, and potentially later on with branded supplies, such as coffee beans, coffee cups, and everything that is related to operations of your coffee shop based on our 7 years experience. And once again, it is not obligatory. If you want, you buy something from us. If you don't want, if you don't see, if we cannot provide you enough value, you can opt out and choose something locally.
So are there other kind of options for mobile drink options out there, or is it quite relatively small?
So to answer shortly, yes, there are different food carts, food trucks, food trailers. Of course, some of them are specialty coffee related like ourselves. But based on my personal research and general observation, all of those are created by manufacturers who either have a very limited knowledge about coffee or have never even operated one of those before. They just understand the idea of mobile coffee shop, like me back in 2016 thinking, oh wow, it's a cool idea, but actually have never put their hands on and not even understanding or realizing what it is needed for barista to be very efficient on such a tiny setup.
So I like coffee, but I don't really know much about the different types of beans or how to make a latte, things like that. So that's kind of something you also teach potential owners about.
So yes, to continue my previous sentence, like the difference of investing to the coffee bike is you're getting a turnkey product which was designed and manufactured by someone who has been operating it for 7 years on a daily basis, meaning it has been proven by hundreds of thousands of cups of coffee and millions of dollars of revenue. So as an addition, when you purchase your coffee bike, you first of all receive a manual, a written manual on which button to press, so any theoretical knowledge with pictures and everything. As well as we are now working on the video manuals, so you can have a visual experience as well, which will be a little bit add-on option. But also on the top of that, we have a team of professional baristas, and if you choose this add-on option, we will be able to travel to any country in the world and provide in-person training, hands-on experience. This is something that will allow people to skip the whole educational part of learning how it is to start a coffee shop, to again learn what is the difference between the coffee beans, etc. And kind of order the coffee bike, get the coffee bike, meet one or two of our representatives joining you in your city, anywhere in the world, and provide the full training and be ready after 3 to 5 business days to run and operate your coffee shop.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. So what's now? What are the next steps for someone who would be interested in owning their own coffee business?
The next step for us is we actually managed to outsource a factory which agreed to help us with mass manufacturing of the units, and which has also worked closely with us to add so much more new features to our bike and slightly redesign the internal parts, so everything makes more sense in terms of like efficiency. Even though it was very efficient, now it will be much more efficient. For that, we need to fulfill a minimum order of 20 coffee bikes. And this is why we are here today. So we are launching these crowdfunding campaigns to fulfill this minimum order of 20 bikes. And we would like to give a special offer to the first 20 coffee bike owners worldwide, which is $1,000 discount on the initial price tag, a lifetime free subscription for our phone application. And a little bit about the phone application. It's gonna connect all the coffee bike owners in one ecosystem. So the second application for the customer, they will be able to see the whole map of the world with all the coffee bikes moving around in a life and staying at some locations. They will be able to choose the closest bike to themselves.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
See the menu, the barista name, the operating hours, special offers, etc. And as well as we are working at some, it's still under development because it's not a franchise. We will see how we can implement this, but it's going to be some point reward system. Maybe we're going to split it based on the countries, on the cities, but there's going to be an option to collect points and redeem free drinks, which will be a great tool for the coffee bike owners to retain their loyal customers.
Totally, yeah.
On the top of that, customers will be able to order caterings, which again, we collect leads from all over the world and split them between coffee bike owners and share some media, which is always helpful for the coffee bike owners because there is no restrictions. You buy coffee bike, of course, you launch your Google business page, maybe Instagram page, TikTok, everything. And for all of that, you need more and more material, which your customers will be able to share with you. And finally, the last offer is $1,200 worth of special professional barista equipment packed in our signature coffee bike backpack.
Oh wow,
which is
so
a little nice addition. While the initial package already comes with everything, this is a little extra which gonna enhance your experience as a coffee bike owner and barista.
Oh well, that honestly does sound like, for someone just starting, it seems like you're giving them everything and just letting them go and see what happens. So that's amazing.
This is the whole idea that I've been picturing in my head for the last couple of years. You make an order, you receive a huge box, you open the box, and you have a fully ready unit, which you can start, generating, making coffee and generating sales right away. As opposed to me receiving a separate pieces of something in 2016 without any knowledge, trying to put it together, going through another 1 year of like figuring out the rest of the parts, and then ended up with something that is completely, dysfunctional or like, something that is absent from the initial idea of mobility. So yes.
Oh, well, this all sounds super amazing. And is there anything that you think a future coffee bike owner should know besides whatever you've shared today?
Well, as any business, small business in general, it implies risks, right? So I would recommend before like rushing into like purchasing, even though like I should be very aggressive on my 20 minimum order sale and being like, hey, yeah, buy it fast, buy it quick. Just figure out where you want to serve, look for the locations around, and make sure that this concept is applicable in your area, which, based on our initial research of the initial targeting countries, is very applicable. We're going to focus on North America, Europe, and Australia in the first round. And perhaps we're going to receive some leads from other parts of the world, which we will be also able to accommodate. But the initial will be those three areas. Yes, research local legislation, because once again, it's not franchise. We are not like selling you a ready-to-go business. We are selling you concept, right? We are not providing you with licenses, permits, etc. This is something as a business owner you need to do on your own. So please, this is a question that we receive. If you like watching this, we are not providing you with permits. This is your sole responsibility as a business owner to make your local research. And your local city hall will be a good start point for you to start your initial request. Just come and say, what does it take for me to launch a food cart and where can I operate it?
Okay, well, great. I think you've basically covered everything in a short amount of time. I know you probably still have lots more to share, but I really appreciate you sharing all this information with us today.
Thank you so much, Christine, for helping me to share this with our audience, future coffee bike owners. And yes, you're right, there's going to be much more information to share. First of all, we are welcoming everyone to review everything below this video, all the features of the coffee bike, all the additional appliances that gonna come with a coffee bike, all the additional perks that will come with being a part of the coffee bike community, and we will be sharing more and more updates and data throughout our journey, which we are very confident in, and we hope you share our vision and our aspiration with us. Thank you.